Good evening, everybody. Welcome. We have a regularly scheduled meeting, council meeting this evening, which will take place shortly. But we also have a public hearing on an ordinance that was read into for a first reading at the last council meeting. So before we start the council meeting this evening, we're going to have the public hearing. This is going to be a public hearing on Ordinance 1165 concerning approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159. It's an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, for the purpose of approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159. Is there anybody in the audience this evening here to speak on the public hearing for Ordinance 1159? Any comments from the council members? Okay. Without any comments from the audience, or from the citizens or the council members, I'll go ahead and close public hearing on Ordinance 1165. The time is now 7:01. Okay. Let's go ahead and start the council meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The date is October 21st, 2024. The time is now 7:02 p.m. I call to order a regularly scheduled meeting of the Havre de Grace Mayor and City Council. I will have a roll call of council members. Council President Ringsacker. Here. Councilmember Robertson.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Shenagas.
Here.
Councilmember Boger.
Here.
All council members are present. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone can please remain standing. It gives me a great pleasure to call forward Reverend Jim Sterner. Jim here? Hey, Jim's not here. All right, I thought, anyway. Jim Sterner from Webster United Church was supposed to join us this evening, but he probably wasn't able to make it. I will call on our council spiritual leader, Council President Ringsacker.
Bow your heads. Supreme Architect of the universe, we invoke thy blessing at this time. May this meeting thus begun in order be conducted in peace and close in harmony. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Council President. Please be seated.
Reverend Jim.
We're going to go to item 5, which is approval of the minutes of the October 7, 2024 council meeting. Council, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president and a second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve city council meeting minutes carries 6-0 in the affirmative from October 7, 2024. Okay, we're going to go to item 6, which is comments from citizens. This is the part of tonight's agenda. If you're here to comment on an item that's on the agenda, now's the time to do so. And if you're also here to comment on any other matter of city business, now's the time to do so. And I didn't get any pre-filled out forms, so I'll call on the audience at large. Please raise your hand if you wish to address the council. Sir. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the council meeting. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Yes, sir. My name's John Berkeridge. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Communities, Helping Empower Patriots,
Welcome.
People, and Professionals. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members. Thank you for your service. It's my understanding that last week zoning submitted a letter of their recommendation moving forward with a zoning ordinance, perhaps not on specific discussion on tonight's agenda. However, I just wanted to introduce myself to the council, introduce myself to the town. Though I am a Cecil County citizen, certainly spent plenty of time and dollars in your beautiful town of Havre de Grace. And we are really looking forward to hopefully moving forward with changing the zoning primarily around the hospital area, not necessarily the hospital property itself. The only item that I'd like to bring up is Unfortunately, at times, when you look at that zoning, there are references to group homes. That is a very broad and open definition. Please know that our organization essentially bridges veterans, which means we take veterans from homelessness for a very specific period of time, and we get them to being productive citizens as well as permanent housing. So I'm sure there will be a lot of discussions, potentially debate around this initiative, but I need you to know that all of our employees, all of our associates, all of our contractors are both Harford and Cecil County citizens. We are your neighbors, and we are committed to doing the right thing each and every day, and it is my hope that you are as well. So that is my respectful address to your council, Mr. Mayor, and again, thank you all for your service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll open the floor back again. Any other citizen here tonight wish to speak? Any comments from the council?
I didn't catch John's last name.
It is Berkeridge, E as in boy, E-R-K-E-R-I-D.
Get that, Johnny?
Yep.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now go to item 7. Item 7, appointments. We have an appointment, 3 appointments to the Youth Commission. And I'll hand it off to the council liaison to the Youth Commission, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to reappoint Ms. Elisa Henson and Tracy Robertson to the Youth Commission, as well as an initial appointment for Dr. Lisa Robinson.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson and seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. This is for the reappointment of Ms. Alicia Henson, Tracy Robertson, and the first appointment of Dr. Lisa Robinson. Questions or comments? Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to go on record again thanking Alicia and Tracy for continuing service on the Youth Commission. They've both been invaluable members. Alicia's been there since day one. She helped get this initiative started, and it was her and I sitting down for a cup of coffee, just spitballing what we can do for kids in the community and what that could look like. And then as well as commend Dr. Lisa Robinson for her service with Economic Development Advisory Board, and then willing to serve on yet another city commission. Thank you for your blood, sweat, time, and tears, and being available to volunteer for this great city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Robertson. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The appointment of Alicia Henson, Tracy Robertson, and Dr. Lisa Robinson carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you very much, Council. We're going to go to item 8, recognitions. This evening we have no recognitions. Item 9, proclamations. We have no proclamations. Item 10, presentations, and we have no presentations this evening. That takes us to resolutions, and we do have a handful of resolutions here. We have 3 resolutions. And we're going to hand the first one off to Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for a replacement sign at 400 North Union Avenue.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis. It's seconded by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce a resolution. Questions or comments on this introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to it say nay. Motion to introduce this resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be known as Resolution 2024-26. 2024-26. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland and Sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter for the approval of license agreement to replace a sign at 400 North Union Avenue right-of-way. Council, to have a motion to adopt calendar resolution 2024-26.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones and seconded by Councilmember Booker. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegis?
Yes, this freestanding sign will be located in front of the new Vintage Cafe on 400 North Union Avenue.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Any other questions or comments? Council, we will do a roll call vote on this resolution. Roll call vote, Councilmember Boker,
Yes.
Council President Ringstocker,
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2024-26 is adopted by council. Item B, Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning approving a license agreement for an access ramp, landing, and steps at 123 South Washington Street.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis to introduce a resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Jones. This is a motion to introduce a resolution. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce a resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this resolution will be known as Calendar Resolution 2024-27. 2024-27. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter for approval of license agreement to construct an access ramp and steps at 123 South Washington Street right-of-way. Council, I have a motion to adopt Calendar Resolution 2024-27.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegis?
Yes, this license agreement is to approve an ADA ramp and landing and steps that are 8 feet by 3 feet and 5 feet by 3 feet with a section of the city's right-of-way along South Washington Street, formerly known as Zellman's, a business, now transitioning into a residential multifamily home.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Any other questions or comments on this resolution? Okay, Council, this is Resolution 2024-27. There will be a roll call vote. Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2024-27 is approved by council. Calendar Resolution, item C, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, citizens, I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning establishing legislative priorities and positions for the 2025 session.
Council, I have a motion to introduce a resolution by the Council President. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Jones. This is a motion to introduce a resolution. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to it say nay. Calendar resolution is introduced and is passed by 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Calendar Resolution 2024-28. 2024-28. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to Sections 33 and 34 of the City Charter and the Local Government Article Annotated Code of Maryland for establishing legislative priorities and positions for the 2025 session of the Maryland General Assembly and authorizing the mayor or designee to speak and advocate for the priorities and positions established. Council, I have a motion to adopt 2024-28.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Robertson, second by the Council President. Questions or comments? Council President.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to defer to the person who's probably going to be your designee to speak down in Annapolis for us, Mr. Ruchinsky.
Just thank the council for approving this resolution. This just simply establishes general positions for the upcoming session. One of the major new items you'll see in this packet is support for elections. That's been something that's been going back and forth the last couple of weeks, but it is our understanding, and Dr. Ritchie working with the election board and us working with MML, that they will allow the local election boards to give us that support, but currently it's up in the air. So This packet will be presented to the delegation at Thursday's meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments from the council? Councilmember Boyer.
At this time, is there a lot of discussion in regards to reducing municipalities' ability to self-roll, et cetera? I know that is item number, section 3A, diminishes municipal government's authority for any powers granted under the Constitution.
Nothing yet, but I think you can always anticipate one or two pieces of legislation that we would view as overhanded or heavy-handed, if you will.
I was just wondering if, again, we're expecting the impact for, I can't even think of,
I would like to say no, but
hard to say.
it's hard to say with the
Okay.
3,000 pieces they enter. I'm sure we will be opposed to a number of them.
Has the administration started putting out what their priorities are for the year yet?
The governor's
The
administration?
governor's administration?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on 2024-28. Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, calendar resolution 2024-28, establishing legislative priorities and positions for the 2025 session is adopted by council. Okay, that is the three resolutions. Thank you, council. We're going to go to ordinances. And we're going to bring up ordinance 1163 for a second reader, and I'm going to hand it off to Councilmember Boyer.
I move to introduce ordinance 1163 concerning approving agreement with the Green Team for Food Forest at Todd Park.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Robertson. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1163 on second reading. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1163 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1163 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to enter into an agreement with the Havre de Grace Green Team, LTD, as it relates to a food forest on city property at Todd Park. Council, to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1163 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer.
Just for clarity for everybody, the Green Team has for several years managed a food forest that's available for anybody within the community to go and pick fresh fruit. It's down at Todd Park. If you are interested in participating, the Green Team is always looking for volunteers to adopt a couple of the trees. Adopting the tree simply means putting mulch on it, trimming it back, doing whatever kind of clipping needs to be done. It is a great service to our community, and it is yet another one of the ways that our community can raise our own produce in order to give it to people who are in need within our community at several of the food banks in town. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1163 on second reader. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
By a roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1163 is adopted on second reading. Thank you, Council. We're going to go to item B and right back to Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce ordinance 1164 concerning approving agreement with Green Team for composting at Hutchins Park.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by Councilmember Jones This is ordinance 1164 on second reader concerning approving agreement with the Green Team for composting at Hutchins Park. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion to approve ordinance 1164 to be introduced on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1164 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to enter into an agreement with the Havre de Grace Green Team, Ltd., as it relates to composting collection with Garrity Renewables, LLC, on city property. Council, do I have a motion to adopt 1164 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Boyer and seconded by Councilmember Boger.
Bzz.
Questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer.
So this is one of those great projects that started off as a pilot project, like a concept out there saying, do you think we could do it? Well, let's put together our pilot, and it has been overwhelmingly successful. One of the greatest things is as every week, all 4 bins are completely full, and all of that waste, instead of going to the landfill, is being diverted and is made into usable soil, so that can be used to enrich your garden, et cetera. But the biggest thing is, at this time, we are not paying for the dumping of all of that, and the costs are equal at this time. The amount that costs to do the the composting program is equal to the tipping fees. So this is a net neutral project. I would like to see it expanded up on the hill. The Green Team would like to see it expanded as well. But this is just to allow us to continue it for another, I think, 2 years at Hutchins Park. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Okay. This is ordinance 1164 on the second reading. We're going to do a roll call vote, and here's the roll call vote. Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1164 is adopted by council on second reader. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to introduce on second reading ordinance number 1165.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson to introduce 1165 on second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. This is introduction. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Ordinance 1165 is introduced by council on second reading, 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 65 concerning approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter for the purpose of approving, affirming, and ratifying City Ordinance 1159. Council, to have a motion to adopt 1156 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Robertson. Questions or comments? Councilmember Robertson.
Hey, just for the pleasure of the viewing audience, this is basically updating language from ordinance 1159, specifically the fiscal year, updating that from reading FY25 to reading FY26.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Robertson. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1165. This is roll call on 1165, second reading. Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yeah. Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1165 is adopted by council on second reading. Item D, ordinance for first reading, Councilmember Shenegis.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I move to introduce ordinance concerning approving the renewal of a lease agreement between the city and Go Havre Grace LLC in the first reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis and a second by Councilmember Robertson. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. This introduction, the introduction of this ordinance is approved by council, 6-0 in the affirmative. And council, this will be known as Ordinance 1166, an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution. The local government article annotated code of Maryland in sections 33, 34, and 36 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to approve renewal of a license, or I'm sorry, to approve renewal of a lease between the city and Go Havre de Grace LLC for the use of city's right-of-way. Council, to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1166 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president, and second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Shenegis.
This area that will be leased, the city right-of-way, is a 1,400 square feet area, and it is useful to the company that is acquiring it. It's on the corner of North Union and Franklin Street.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Councilmember Boyer. Councilmember Boyer. Sorry.
So, the property, it's existing. It's been like that for many years, correct? And this is just basically taking over the same lease that had pre-existed for the property that was there previously?
Yeah, previously it was a 2-year lease. Now it's going to extend to a 5-year lease.
Okay, and the amount that they'll be paying is $1 per square foot, which will end up, based off of what you just said, $1,400 per year? Is that how it goes? Or is that for the entirety of the lease?
It is for the entirety of the lease.
Oh, it does say per year. Per year for the entirety of the lease. So the rent for all that property is $1,400 per square foot per year. And is that the same that the previous tenant paid?
I am not aware of what the previous tenant made, so that's 1,400 times 5 for the lease.
Do we know what the previous tenant paid?
I can confirm it's the same number.
The same number, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, council, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1166. First reading. Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President Ringsacker.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
A 6-0 affirmative. Ordinance 1166 is adopted by council on first reading. Council President, public hearing on this at the next council meeting?
November 4th. Yes.
November 4th. Public hearing on ordinance 1166 will be at the next council meeting at 7 o'clock preceding the council meeting, November 4th. At the next council meeting, November 4th. It's hard to believe the next council meeting is November 4th.
November, yeah.
Wow, we're cruising, man.
It'll be Christmas any day.
I know, before you know it. Yeah. All right. Thank you, council. We're going to go to item E on this evening's agenda, and that goes back to Councilmember Shenegis for a first reader.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce ordinance concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning related to accessory dwelling units in the first reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Shenegis and a second by the council president. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance amending Chapter 205 zoning related to accessory dwelling units. Questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce the ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Ordinance 1167. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 205 zoning. Council, to have a motion to adopt this ordinance 1167 on first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Senegas. Questions or comments? We're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1167. Councilmember Senegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
And Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1167 is adopted on first reading. Council President, would you like to also have the public hearing on November 4th?
Absolutely.
Okay. Public hearing on this ordinance will be at the November 4th City Council meeting, preceding the council meeting at 7 o'clock. Item F, under ordinances, Councilmember Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, I move to introduce on first reading an ordinance concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning related to group housing.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the Council President. It's a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce an ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be known as Ordinance 1168. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 205 zoning related to group housing. Council, to have a motion to adopt Ordinance 1168 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Robertson, a second by Councilmember Boger. Questions or comments? Councilmember Robertson.
Council President, are we still planning to do a presentation?
Yes, actually, if I may, that was going to be under my comments. I was going to say that we're expecting to have a presentation and to have a response from the Planning Commission. I haven't seen the response yet. I did get a call from Mr. Miller, who was on the Planning Commission, but it was during the football game, so I haven't had a chance to follow up. I think tonight we can move forward with it and then wait until we get the response for the second reading.
Yeah, I agree, because Tim had sent out an email today, and I didn't get a chance to ask him any questions on it, but I guess the Planning Commission didn't take a formal opinion, so I think it would behoove us, to move forward with first reading, and then under public hearing and second reading, have the discussion from the Planning Commission and any fine-tuning that we need to do, any amendments.
Okay.
Anything else? Councilmember Boyer.
So just for the clarity of those who are watching, the purpose of this is to provide definitions which would then allow for not the existence, since it already exists in some forms, allow for the regulation of household, group living and senior living. We already have senior living and we already have group living, so if it creates the definition for it, is that basically all this does?
Yeah, so it adds to Chapter 205, the definition for group housing, and then also it gives a mechanism for the Historic Preservation Commission to review any site plans, any approvals that come before the Board of Appeals. So like, for example, if a church were to be bought and then subdivided up into many apartments, I mean, they can't just do that without coming back to the city and getting certain planning documents in place and likely a visit to the Board of Appeals. But in that process, according to this legislation, the Historic Preservation would have an opportunity just to review those to make sure, like, oh, hey, we're not changing the character of a building too drastically.
But it doesn't impact any of the other pieces, any of the other ordinances that we have passed in regards to planning, or the use of property within the city of Havre, Grace, whether it be for rental, et cetera.
So I mean, this is for the RO district. I'd defer to the city's attorney to answer your question more succinctly.
Does this impact any other piece of legislation that we have? or-
So, under 2005-13, it's my understanding that it is adding definitions, but 24, it's adding a conditional use in the RO. That's my understanding. The definitions would carry across generally all of the zoning districts, that's my understanding. But I could be wrong, because I didn't compare it to the others.
Okay.
I just looked at it for, for this
So
particular.
it's adding a definition in chapter 205 and then adding the conditional use specifically for the RO.
Correct, that's my understanding what it's supposed to do, but I don't know, in terms of adding the definition, generally, when you add definitions, it applies across the board to that section.
Okay.
So it should apply across all the zoning sections.
So that was
doesn't
to
mean
just
it-
be my question, like, what, is there a slippery slope to this? Is there?
Potentially, that's why we're going to have more discussion on it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you. So we have a motion to adopt by Councilman Robertson, second by Councilman Boker. There's no other questions or comments. We're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1168. Roll call on 1168. Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Robertson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1168 is adopted by council on first reading. And Council President, I guess public hearing November 4th?
Did we want to get the presentation first and then have the public hearing, or have the public hearing and presentation and wait for the ordinance?
Yeah, I know.
We can have the public hearing at the next meeting.
Well, we don't have to set the public hearing tonight. We can advertise the public hearing.
Okay,
I mean, we could always say it's at the next meeting, but if it's not ready, we cancel it, right?
okay, that's fine.
Attorney, what would you rather the city do for the public's notice?
If the council is going to wait until after the presentation before it votes, it may be better to have that first, and then at the following meeting, do the public hearing.
So we'll announce the public hearing at another meeting.
Yeah, or you can, I think you can announce it now and say it's going to be 2 meetings from now, and just not advertise it until the timing is right.
Okay, so that'd
That
be
makes sense.
18th?
18th? Okay. Public hearing on ordinance 1168, November 18th. Be there if you square. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, council. And we're going to go to item 13, old business. This evening, we have no old business. And item 14, we have new business. And we're going to hand that off to Dr. Chris Ritchie, Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, for your consideration this evening, we have one special event. It is the annual Veterans Day Parade to be held on November 11th from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The biggest change on this from previous years is that in previous years, the parade went down Washington Street. Because of the construction, that can't happen this year, so the parade will be on St. John Street from Congress to Union. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. Do I have a motion to approve Veterans Day Parade?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president, second by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments?
Yeah,
Councilmember Booker.
I'm just trying to paint the picture. Is it from Congress to Union? That's just right up the road? From Congress to right here on Congress. Is it from like Hutchins Park up Congress to Union?
No, it's on St. John Street. We're going from Congress all the way down to the Legion.
Okay, so it's St. John then?
So it's parallel to where it was going to be.
Right, right.
So I'm willing to bet that's a typo in the document, because I imagine it's going to end at the Legion where it normally does. So
Union Avenue.
it'll go from
Congress.
basically Hutchins Park to the Legion at
Right,
St. John.
right. I just wanted to kind of call to order, just to, I think the typo there, we'll just change that. Change the verbiage, change the address. Maybe be the short parade, guys.
I mean, it says St. John Street from Congress to Union.
Yeah.
The Legion is on Union, right?
It's actually on St. John Street,
It goes,
but they intersect.
501 St. John.
Yeah. Union and,
yeah. We all know what it means.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
No further.
Anybody here not know where the Veterans Parade's going? Okay, we all know where it is, so. all
No
right.
further discussion.
Pretty
Mayor.
sure I know where it's going to be.
Okay, all right, so, okay, very good. So, any other further questions or comments? Thank you, Councilmember Boger. Any other further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed say nay. Veterans Day Parade for November 11, 2024, at 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. from Hutchins Park down St. John Street to the American Legion is approved, 6-0 in the affirmative.
Y'all put it on your calendars.
Yep, put on the calendar. All right, item 15. Director's report, Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, citizens. I do not have any comments of my own this evening, but I am going to be reading something in the record from my colleague, Tim Borsier, the Director of Planning, who is at a conference this evening. This is the CRS Activity 510 Progress Report on Implementation of Credited Plan. So the report was written October 9th, 2024, prepared by Marissa Willis, CFM CRS Coordinator, Planner, Department of Planning, with updates provided by the Department of Public Works. The name of the plan is the Hazard Mitigation Plan for Harford County, Maryland, and the original date of adoption of that plan was October 2022. This report is to be read into the record at the publicly televised City Council meeting on Monday, October 21, 2024. Copies of the original hazard mitigation plan are available at Harford County Department of Emergency Services, as well as at each of the 3 incorporated municipalities within Harford County, Havre, Grace, Bel Air, and Aberdeen. Within the County Hazard Mitigation Plan, under the Mitigation Goals and Action Plan section, 4 goals were outlined for the City of Havre de Grace. Goal 1, reduce flood losses. The city's floodplain ordinance and FEMA mapping were updated and effective on April 19th, 2016. The revised ordinance is based on the state model and incorporates a 2-foot freeboard requirement. The Havre de Grace Comprehensive Plan adopted a water resources element by resolution number 2010-17 in December of 2010. The Department of Planning is currently updating all chapters of our comprehensive plan and is in its final stages of approval. Important weather-related updates and announcements are posted on our city website, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as during city council meetings. Emergency broadcasts are also sent out to residents by phone and email. Engineered plans have been obtained for Phase 1 of Lily Run for 2,500 feet of wetland enhancement and step pool design and establishing a marshy area as a no-mow buffer. This will be in the area of Juniata Street, Revolution Street, and Wilson Street, where flooding is common during heavy rains. No work has begun on this project yet. 2 properties in the area were obtained by the city at the end of 2023 to be incorporated in this project. Other stormwater projects that were completed include a pond retrofit and partial stream restoration of Lily Run at the city-owned stormwater pond at the Bradford Green Development Area, a retrofit to Concord Point Pond with the addition of 2 landscape infiltration areas, the storm pipe near the Maritime Museum, which was daylighted with step pools, a rain garden near the Decoy Museum with a dry stream channel meandering into the cove, shoreline slopes were lessened, invasives removed, and native plantings installed. The city regularly monitors these areas for continuing functionality and plant health. Goal 2, protect infrastructure, water and wastewater systems. The city has installed new cameras for the SCADA system at City Hall, Police Department, Water Treatment Plant, and the water towers above town. The wastewater treatment plant and the DPW shop also had new cameras installed. The city's water treatment plant recently completed upgrades to the pre-treatment tanks, piping, filtering, and new control system. Water conservation efforts include monitoring quarterly water consumption and alerting customers of unusually high consumption. Goal 3, educate and inform the public about all hazards. Havre Grace participates in the community rating system and is currently at a Class 7. We continually strive to improve our score through mitigation assistance, public outreach, and exploring options for reduced flood risk. Multiple FEMA booklets and brochures are available in the City Hall lobby and the local library.